Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. Sam, can you mute your mic? You're super loud in the background. Audible, Tiki Live, Amazon Music, iTunes TuneIn. Let's see where we are. GeoSend, Spreaker. I am actually Dr. Mercer reporting live today from Las Vegas, Nevada. And I get to broadcast from everywhere thanks to technology. And a quick shout out to Polly, my sound engineer, who is running the board today remotely. So it's a nice challenge in the morning. But I'm so glad that you're here. This is a show about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K words. No Kanye talk at all, because Kim's actually doing some great things for my satellite sister Akuyo Graham's organization, Spirit Awakening. So we now say Kanye talk. And so glad that you're here. I have topics and guests and series to help you focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. And it is Thursday, and you can see there's someone in the studio with me who's kind of cute. He is my co-host on Thursdays. His name is Sam Works. He is the co-host of my special series called Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and
Sam Works.
Welcome back to the studio, Sam. All righty. And let's go launch right into breakfast so we can catch up using gratitude as our framework, as I want you to focus on the most positive things around you so that you can start your day in the most positive way. So what are you grateful for, Sam?
I'm grateful that I got to spend time with my family yesterday and play some board games and make dinner for them. And then my girlfriend came over and she made some brownies, some special brownies. Not really, but homemade brownies. So that was pretty cool.
Okay. I am grateful that I can find out new developments in my co-host's life using Breakfast with Dr. Marissa, as this is the first time I've heard that word girlfriend used.
Oh, yeah.
And there was no warm up to this one, no foreplay at all, because I think I may know when Sam and I were at a financial workshop at John Shin, our business coach's home estate in Calabasas. I do remember there was a little bit of a different tone to his voice when he was talking to someone, but did not put two and two together. He was still flirting. No, I'm kidding. He was he was still my my co-host. No, I'm just kidding. No, he was still not revealing that, and she may be listening, so I have to be careful. But
she is listening,
is she?
actually.
Oh,
That's funny.
Okay, you did not warn me, so all of this is on you. So,
hey, that's fine.
Okay, so I'm grateful that I get to learn new things on my show about my co-host.
I'm grateful that we get to have this type of show, these categories and stuff, because when she does listen, it helps her understand like my mindset and my philosophy about, straight talk and like dating and stuff. So
All righty. Oh man, juice.
Shoes.
I am grateful that I got two of my favorite things last night: karaoke and
Mm,
craps. So I was
Perhaps that's the game.
accidentally, hashtag accidentally, not accidentally, alerted to the fact that there's actually a casino that is for locals that literally is the closest walk to, I'm at the Signature at MGM. And so I got to go and sing my heart out and got, lots of love from the audience. I'm a retired lounge lizard. That's my third gratitude, that I can still sing, even though I don't perform regularly anymore. And then my last gratitude is I just love playing games. And I wasn't invited to board game night. I love board games, but I'll take that up with you later, probably because you have a girlfriend now. But anyways, those are all my gratitudes. You can catch up now before we go to the bottom of the bun, because Sam likes it on the bottom. you know
Okay.
you're in trouble now because you did not warn me, and so this whole show you are going to be red and pink just like you are right now.
Yeah, I am red and pink. What else am I grateful for? I'm grateful that my closest immediate family still live relatively close to each other and not in different states, so I still get to hang out with them and see them. What else? Do I need one more? One more
One more.
gratitude. I'm very grateful that you invited me and introduced me to John Shin, because I learned so much from him, and like I want everyone to understand like how important it is to like have someone like you and John Shin around to learn, financial literacy and stuff, and having a
Fantastic.
mentor, I should say.
Yeah, I ditto.
She's frozen.
Convention, and it is the theme this year is right up my alley. Step up, show up, step up, dream up, which is, my theme for this year is go up. You hashtag UP, unlimited possibilities. And I just got a message from Lisa. She'll be joining us at the next, she wants to go. She saw my post from yesterday. Go to Doc Balance on Instagram, by the way, if you want to be amused by my clips. But I was Dr. Versa reporting live out of Vegas yesterday, and it's a way for all of us to learn something we didn't learn in school, and it's so important. And I just realized that my field is not finance, but my life is finance, and finances definitely are impactful to your happiness. So when I ask you to choose happiness, I need you to choose being money smart, business smart, and look for opportunities. So that's what that's about. And we're doing because John likes you, we're doing another full Saturday workshop in Saturday, and I'm working on August 5th. So just so you know, let's just put a temporary hold on that, and I'll confirm that by the end of the day today, so you can start inviting your friends. Okay?
Okay, sweet.
Cool.
Super excited.
Bottom of the bun is appreciations. And what that means is, what do you like about yourself? And it's gratitude internalized. Why is this important, Sam? Why do we need to like who we are?
Because if you don't appreciate, because if you need someone else to appreciate you, then how the fork are you going to finish it for me?
Close. If you can't approve of yourself, how the fork can you expect other people to approve of you?
There you go.
So we're close. You got the fork down.
I was getting it down. I was trying to get word for word what you say.
You did good.
But I understand it. Yeah.
Yeah, you did good. All right, and I appreciate that I'm so shy. Sarcasm is another service I offer, and that I have no fear, and that allows me to make many different cool stops on this thing called the joyride of life. So there's all of my appreciations for myself.
Whoa, whoa.
I'm on
You-
speed breakfast this morning.
That's funny. All right. I think something that I said recently is that I appreciate that I have like a hard head, right? So I don't really let people's opinions get into my head that easily and manipulate me into making decisions that I don't want to make. Also, I know you had. I shouldn't have said that, but
I'm only not saying anything out of respect for the color on your face
okay, thanks.
and your
So I
new
knew something was
girlfriend.
coming. Yeah.
It's coming, all right.
Okay, just one thing after another. Isn't it? All right. Another thing that I appreciate about myself is probably always wanting to better myself. I always tell myself I want to be the best version that I can be, even though that's almost hard to reach. I still try to reach for that
How
goal.
hard? I didn't hit the first two. I did not hit the first two.
You're right. You're right. I feel like you need to hold some water in your mouth. So when I speak, you don't spit anything out. And then let me see. Another appreciation about myself is that I always want more, but I'm okay with less. Right. So I humble myself, which is important. Because I don't want to be chasing life without enjoying it, And then thank you. And then also just appreciating life within itself is very important. So I appreciate that I acknowledge that, life is too short and we think we're all immortal, but we're not. So we got to really stop and smell the roses.
For sure.
Mhm.
For sure. Yeah. Esther Hicks, law of attraction teacher, or actually Abraham will say, now I'm going to get the term wrong, but happy and satisfied with what is and looking forward to what is to come. So there's that dual, you're not pissed off at what's happening now. You're happy and grateful, which is why we do the gratitude sandwich, but you still dream, you still go up, you still look forward, anticipating what is to come. And that truly is a gift of life. And that's what the show's about. And that's what we encourage you to do here. All right. That's it for breakfast. Thank you for joining us for Breakfast with Dr. Marissa and
Sam Works.
Here on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show on CNBC, NBC News Radio, KCAA, home to the Asian Oprah, the station that leaves no listener behind. All right, and let's go to the topic at hand. And this time, because I'm on my phone studio, I can't read what it was. So I don't know if you can read, but Sam's mom is to blame and give credit to for today's topic. Again, she's such a great topic supplier. And she wanted to talk about Show Me the Money. And I was looking at that song, money, 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 but I couldn't find it. But there you go. And it is about sharing money, specifically if you are with someone that's your insignificant or significant other, and you have vastly different philosophies, habits with money. One pinches pennies. If you're a millennial and you don't know what that means, go Google it. One's spendthrift, another term that if you don't know, Google it. But basically, it's both extremes of saving money to the point that you're squeaky and you won't pay for anything. Or the other extreme is, I like that. Let's buy it, even though we don't have the money to cover it in the credit card, or you don't have savings, and you need to have savings, and you buy it anyways. Or I think the universe is going to provide for me so I can sit under this bodhi tree and just visualize what I want. And what I want is going to magically appear in my garage. And that bullshit hockey as well, which a lot of people mistake the law of attraction for that. And I'm on a one woman mission to try to correct that as well, because I think that has done a lot of disservice to the natural law of attraction. But that's just my opinion. Anything to add? Did I forget anything?
No, I think you did pretty good on
Oh, thank you.
covering it. Yep.
I pulled the covers on that one. Yeah. So we are really love it when you make comments and participate in our conversation for straight talk. You do not have to be straight to talk on this show. We mean straight as in we give it to you straight, or you give it to us straight. We are not going to be well, we have to be a little politically correct as insofar as being respectful, but we put the moose on the table a lot, which is my Canadian expression of talking about the elephant in the room, which, again, millennials, if you don't know what that means, go look it up on Google. All right, what's your view? So this is really good because I don't know if you've had this conversation with your girlfriend yet, your girlfriend that I just found out about today, but how do you approach it if you do? And to what extent is this a deal breaker or a, one of those things where you really should figure this out before you get together with someone?
Okay, so I mean, this is not really a topic that is quote unquote a deal breaker before you start dating someone. It kind of just gradually reveals itself. I know my one of my previous exes, she was horrible because she thought that money comes and goes, right? And I was like, well, you need to save. And she was like, save for what? And if you don't know this phrase, go look it up. Save for a rainy day, right? And so she has parents who are pretty well off. And then I was like, okay, but your parents not going to be around forever. And then I was like, what if like something like some catastrophe happens in the world? She's like, what? And this was during the pandemic. And I was like a pandemic. And she was like, well, we have whatever, basically government aid or like unemployment or whatever it is. And so like she always found a way to have like to get money, but she would just spend it. She was like, what's the point of having money if you're not going to spend it? That drove me crazy. So she was not really, I would say, like financially literate because she didn't know anything about like investing or, like doubling your money or anything like that. Me, on the other hand, you have a comment?
Yeah, you know me well. I'm just curious, when you guys would go out together, I know it was pandemic, but if there was an opportunity to spend money, would she expect you to cover her?
No, we kind of went back and forth,
Okay.
which is fine
So,
because here's my thing. I'm not gonna go to the mall and like spend all my money because like, oh, I find something that I want, like I usually hold back on that. However, if I'm with somebody and I'd rather give my money to somebody else, which is weird. It's just like a mental state that I have that I probably need to work on a little bit, fine tune, just a little tweak a little bit. Because if like if we go out to dinner, I'm not going to be on a budget. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't make sense. If we go on a date, I'm not going to be on a budget, you know? So it's like, I'm willing to spend my money to enjoy life, but I'm not going to go out of my way and like go on a shopping spree for myself. It's usually with somebody else. Cause if you're happy, I'm happy, so if you want something, I'll get, you know what I mean? Like I'm more of a giver than a receiver. So like, that's how my money flows, which when I say it out loud, doesn't really sound good.
I'm so glad you have that self-awareness and I do not have to jump on your head. Not that one. I don't have to, say that doesn't sound very healthy. And I'll use this analogy that I love and that I heard the other day. Reminded me. I haven't said it in a long time. If you exhale all the time and you never inhale, what happens?
That's pretty
Right?
good. Pretty
Thank
good.
you. Thank you. I wish I made it up. But the whole law of reciprocity, the whole law of, giving and receiving is like money. So you do, for all those people who are just always saving, never hoarding, worrying about spending, very tight. My father was like that. And I understood why he was like that because he actually grew up super duper rich in his family in China. They had 61 deeds of property and 6 sons. And so when they were young, there were people who would kidnap rich people's kids and hold them for ransom. That was a normal practice. I don't say normal business practice, but it was a reality. And so his brothers, his oldest 3 brothers, literally had to dress up as girls to go to school so they wouldn't get kidnapped. And then the Japanese first invaded, took everything, got it back. Then the communists came, took everything, 61 deeds of property. They gave one back before he died, but that was for him a traumatic. So I grew up in a household that he would drive across town for gas that was 1 cent less, and I thought for sure that I was going to get lightning would strike me. So that's why I overtip now when I go out because he undertipped every single establishment we went to. So, but that was based on his experience. But if you were a person who sounds like that and you have a lot of money, and I know a lot of multimillionaires who are like that. And on one hand, you can't fault them because they have a lot of money because they were able to have the discipline or discipline to constantly keep what they have. But the result of that is you can't even enjoy, like you were saying, you can't enjoy what you have earned. You can't enjoy what you do have. And that to me is a crying shame because if you can't, reward yourself for that hard work. Like I came with a specific amount of money to play in Vegas that if I lose it, it's play money because I've been working really, really hard and not hardly working, but actually, I'm a like 10, 12 hour and I love my work, but I know that I am rewarding myself with this play because I love playing craps. I love that whole, winner on machines or betting on my number 27 and hitting it on roulette. So I tried blackjack again and I cannot play that game. It's not for me. But I do that because I want to also money's an energy in, energy out. Maybe not, there's a balance there. I'm not going to make, $8,000 and then go to Vegas and spend $8,000, right? But I can make $8,000 and allot $800 for play money, over a year's period. If I landed a project or something, I'll set aside play money. And for me, that is balance when it comes to the money. That's opposite to what my father would do, which was just like, the house was always cold because he wouldn't put the heater on in Canada. But anyways, I love you, Dad. He's in heaven now. But anyways, go ahead.
You know what I find interesting when it comes to like relationships. In some cultures, the woman would hold all the money, right? So one person keeps track of the money, so there's no mystery of where the money goes, right? because the guy makes all the money and then the woman just holds all the money. I probably would never do that, to be honest. But like there's someone I know that does that scenario, and he's fighting with his girl right now. They actually been fighting for a while, and she has all the money. Like that makes no sense. So like when he wants something, he has to ask someone that is mad at him for his own money. You know?
Yeah, that sounds like a ticket to divorce or a ticket to break up. And I think that clarifying, you mentioned earlier, it's not a topic that you necessarily jump into the first date, but you do start to notice, in that. I use a pregnancy model of relationships in my book, 8 Ways to Happiness, from wherever you are, because it is an expectation that, and I wrote this in the promo, it just kills me when I meet women who say, I want a man who is generous. I want him to, treat me and, not hold back and showing his generosity and all of that. And I'm like, so do you do that back, or do you, I mean, like, whose money is being generous with? And they're like, his. And it's, oh, okay. So it's similar to, I want a man or a partner who loves me exactly the way I am. And then you turn around and go, I don't like that. You got to change this. You got to do, why aren't you, so it's that inequality in the way that we are treating our significant, insignificant others.
Yeah.
So when it comes to money, there is a real issue, though. The old way, the former way, man works, woman stays home, births and raises children, doesn't make money, uses the money for house, uses the money for upbringing, uses the money for all the things that it takes to operate the business called the family. And that has drastically changed. When I did the show with Alon last week on women in business, the $1 trillion that women make to spend now, women-owned business. So whose money is that? So I know very few successful scenarios. Mine was unsuccessful, where the woman makes the money and the man stays at home. I'm not saying that doesn't work for some people, but I know for the larger part of the experiment and the statistics, it does not work well. And there's ingrained role rules and BS belief systems that keep that from working. And I would never do it again. There's no way that I would select or attract, hopefully, anyone who makes or has less than I do because of what happened to me and having to fork out everything that I had saved to the point of, going into debt because, the divorce was so expensive. So that's my personal opinion. If it works for you and you have a guy at home who takes care of the kids and raises them and is happy doing it, and you're happy and it works, all the power to you. But in my experience, it just doesn't work because I still want a man to be a man.
I like that.
Yeah.
Something about my perspective in life, especially in I want to say here, I don't want to go too broad, but anyways, not a lot of men have ambitions anymore. They don't have these big dreams that they're trying to reach, these big goals, right? They're settling for a plumbing job or construction and all that. And construction and plumbing gives you good money. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Whoa, Nelly here. There's some, a lot of our billionaires these days were built on construction, and plumbers make a lot of money. So,
yes.
Hold
on. But what I'm saying is
You to clarify.
Just because you make a lot of money doesn't mean you have a lot of money. Okay.
True.
There's some broke doctors out there, let me tell you. But anyways, these guys are settling for being average or being less, right? And so when a woman, first of all, is building herself, right, and she doesn't want someone who's less than her, okay, that gives you a very small margin of men out there that you got to go out there and find, because not everyone's stepping up to the plate, right?
Ergo single still.
Yeah, basically. So it's like, and then going back to like a woman wants like a traditional man, you know, it's like pay for everything, all that stuff. Like when it comes to that, in my perspective, a woman wants a traditional man, but she doesn't want to play the traditional role, you know? Like she wants to just spend all his money and still act like she's single, or like disrespect him in almost every way. And it's like, money is a huge factor when it comes to things. And I had times where like when I went out and stuff, and like we had like dinner, like one person would pay and the other person would tip, you know, because that was kind of like you put in and I put in, so it's kind of like a balance. What me and my girl have been doing is, you know, I have her 1 week and then she has me 1 week, you know. The only thing that I'm worried about is like if we start tallying up, you know, it's like, oh, well, I spent this much money last week and you only spent this much money this week, then that can be that can start some confrontation. But you know, it's just working the tweaks when it comes to money, because money's not everything, but it's a lot, right?
Yeah. Yes. And I think that's why I'm saying these days it's tough. Because we haven't really formed the rule or heuristic around equal relationships. It was simpler when it was the traditional roles, right? Because you didn't see it as my money, your money. It was our money, right? And there was this implicit respect for the woman who stayed at home, who did it well. We hope there was respect, but you know, the reality was many moms or stay-at-home moms were taken for granted until men, you know, realized that it's not easy. It's a true job to be able to successfully do that on your own without a lot of support for the man. And then conversely, there wasn't a lot of appreciation for the man who was, you know, out there slaying dragons or whatever and trying to make the money. So I think we're painting a picture that I am painting a picture that it was easier. It wasn't necessarily ideal. But now you have couples, one makes a lot more than the other one. What do you do? And I had that because I attracted a guy who, you know, made just a little bit over minimum wage. And he was very good looking. Okay, that's my defense. He looked like
he's a pretty good looking guy.
Yeah. So he saw the picture. So that was my defense. And I have beautiful children as a result. So he did well in that category. And that's basically the downfall of my picker, but not my pecker. I don't have a peck, but my picker. And I know that it was a struggle for him too to stay at home. You know, it's not just, we didn't have a choice. A caretaker for our children would cost more than what he could bring in. So it didn't make any sense. So the decision wasn't made purposefully, is by default. And even when he moved in, we went to Dr. Pat Allen. I went to Dr. Pat Allen's seminar, and she's been on my show several times. She's been on Oprah, and she's crazy funny. Oprah calls her the comic mother superior. But her formula was, well, what percent of the mortgage should you be paying based on the difference in what you are making? Because when he moved in, right, he was paying for a studio $800 a month. He moves into my condo and the mortgage is $2,800 a month, right? So he can't afford half of the mortgage. And it wasn't his idea to buy the place. So what's the formula? So how much more did I make than him? So he was paying, I think, 20% of the mortgage. Does that make sense? Because he made 20% less, or 20% of what I was making. So that was the formula. Still didn't work, but that technically was supposed to help, manage the equality in the money. So my question is to you: do you think that these days, when you have dual income, that you should commingle, keep it separate? How do you decide who pays for what? Let's say that this new girlfriend is going to end up being your life partner, which is possible, but I know you're probably in the first trimester glowy, all that phase. So I'm not going to put any pressure because we haven't gotten into the second trimester is when you get indigestion. But anyways, let's say you do, end up choosing to make that next step. What are the expectations around my money, your money? And if it is that way, how do you make sure it's equal? And is equal even
Equal?
the
No.
best possibility, right? I've heard people say 50-50. That's bullshit-talky. There's no possible way to make a relationship 50-50. Someone has to have 51. And if it's 50-50, it's a battle. So, your turn.
Well, I definitely do think that me, if I was, I'll be the head of the household, right? So therefore, I will take care of like the big items, like the mortgage and all that stuff. And then I would have her, pay for like Wi-Fi, or like if she's taking long showers, well, guess who's paying for the water? Things like that. And just like the food and everything. Like I'll make sure I pay for like a roof over our head and like clothes on our backs and stuff like that. And then she just pays for like the little smaller things because she loves to bake and she likes to cook, so she's gonna be paying for the food. And like all the little amenities here and there. Like I don't think it should be 50-50, because how do you?
Does she make as much as you do?
Well, I haven't made food in a while.
No. I'm talking about money, not food.
Oh, see, that's we don't have that discussion, because like there's certain things that are very personal, and money's one of them, and like we're not at that. I would say like that stage yet to talk about that.
Yeah.
Like we
You
talk
will
about
be after this show.
Oh yeah, for sure. As if she's like 5 feet away from me. We'll be yeah.
All right. Well, it is an important discussion, and I believe, to answer your mom's question, is it a deal breaker? I believe that it is one of the top 3 things that needs to be, agreed upon before you continue, because like your friend, it's such a source of resentment building if you do not is better than the other, right? Because let's say you find out that she makes 8 times as much as you do. So are you going to feel good about taking on the bulk of the responsibility if you're making 1/8 less, right? And then if she, and because she makes eight times as much, takes on the bulk of the responsibility of the head of the household, are you going to feel comfortable with that? And those things have got to be hashed out and not hashed out, but agreed upon, and really truly in your heart of hearts okay with.
See,
That is.
here's my thing right
Did
now.
she
Like
just did she just leave?
no.
I'm
My
sorry.
brother's wife.
Let's
She wants
do a quick station ID and give you a chance
okay.
to take a breath. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live in Las Vegas, running my 76th show podcast here on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. My special series today, because it's Thursday, is Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and
Sam Works.
On KCAA, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, FM 106.5, streaming everywhere, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, and more. And all of those places you can go free subscribe on my YouTube channel, where you can not only find this show if you're just tuning in, but all of my red carpet interviews with Halle Berry, John Travolta, Quincy Jones, and more. All right, we're coming back to Sam, who has a cashew gallery behind him, muttering. So what are your thoughts about the
Okay.
whole equality thing?
I got you. So is it a deal breaker? For me, it's not a deal breaker if my woman doesn't make any money, because I feel like I'm there to support. Is it a deal breaker if she makes more money than me? Right now, no, because I'm just starting my career. I'm getting the ball rolling, but if I was at my pinnacle peak of like, this is what I can make, this is my prime time, this is what I have, and she still makes more money than me, yeah, I think it would probably be a problem, because it's going to bring down my masculinity. Like, I can't have someone, if I'm in,
I hear somebody laughing in the background. Is that your mom? It sounds like your mom. It is your mom. Hey,
she's laughing.
Hey, you wanted this topic, so you better not laugh at your son.
Now she knows my views. It probably would never happen. I would have so much, motivation to be making more money if my lady was making more money than I was. Yeah. And I also think that if I am going to be the head of the household, then I need to be overall, the best out of the household, right? Now, I'm not saying every category, but I would like to be the most intelligent in the household, the strongest, making the most money. Okay, because Mom. Okay, now it's a different topic. Okay, things are heating up. Amelia, shh.
I can hear her just like laughing her assets off in the background there.
Okay, maybe not most intelligent. Okay, maybe not most intelligent, but I'm just throwing examples out there. Like, you understand like what I'm trying to get at, right? Because
I'm gonna come on camera if you're gonna continue to make cashew gallery comments in the background there, Mom. So okay, I get it. And I'm not, I think that first of all, I commend you, even though your mom's making fun of you right now. I commend you for your awareness. And I think that if there's nothing else, that's the answer. There's no right answer here. But if you're aware of what your BS belief systems are, then, and they may change, I think it's most important to answer the question for the topic of this particular episode, which is, share money, ? The most important thing is that you are aware of your opinions or your BS belief systems about this and how you're operating. And then you find someone who's a match to that, right? That I think is the most important, because I have to take a minute right now and acknowledge how difficult it is for the modern woman. And I have lived that, to really figure out what that is for ourselves. Now, I'm not in that, I know I'm ageless, but I'm not in your girlfriend's generation where my daughter's generation, where they, they seem to have a real more balanced view about money. But for my generation of working, pioneers, I'm not that old, but women, successful women, power women, and grabbing life by the cojones and very successful or very high achievement oriented, blah, 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 blah. And all of that power and money, it's kind of screws you up, because you still want a man to be the head of the household, like you were talking about. And you want a man to not necessarily take care of you, but certainly, the gestures, right? The flowers, or, or whatever it is, and treating you to nice, somebody asked me, what's my ideal relationship? It would be, I they would, wine and dine and have no wine, but have, a treat, right? And they would finance it, because not because I can't finance it, but for me, that shows me you are, the dominant. I want you to be dominant. I may fight like heck, because I am used to having the last word, especially with the show, but I still want that. And then I'm told that men who are in that position do not want a woman like me, who is, successful on their own and doesn't need them, as you were saying, when you're older and have that position, to have someone who threatens that or emasculates you because of that. And so they pick women who adore them. And that's our fault too. I think strong, powerful women don't do a very good job of appreciating the man. That's on us. So, and Dr. John Gray, when he came on, he's always telling me, like Pat Allen did, don't lead with your testosterone. Don't tell people what you do and what you've accomplished. And it's so difficult. One, because people Google, and two, because I'm used to leading with what my, not with my unit, but I don't have a unit, but I'm used to leading with, this is what I do. This is who I am. So it is so, and I say this to offer compassion for myself too. As I start trying to date, it's not easy, because I have to let go of the BS belief systems that are holding me back from finding someone to share time with.
Relationship is not black and white. It's very gray. And if there's other colors, there'll be other colors too. But going back to like money solutions, maybe there's different ones out there. I think a good one that I know someone does is like a joint account, right? Especially if you're married. Like they have their money, but you still have money together that you guys spend, whether that's on dates or like, doing your own thing. But you're not having someone hold all the money together, right? So it's like, hey, if we're gonna go on a date, we use our date money, right? But if you want to go buy yourself a dress, well, then you have your own money to go buy yourself a dress. Me personally, I would love to buy, my partner the dress though. But you get the idea. We all have our separate money, and then we have our money together. And
But is it fair? Is it fair for you to expect someone who makes a tenth of what you make to match your amount in that joint account?
Oh, you don't have to match, and it's kind of like your piggy bank. You just let it build up for a little bit to a point where it's like, as long as you acknowledge that you guys are both putting effort in, like a certain percentage, like, I don't know, you can have that conversation with that person.
If it's but you're cutting out a bit, hun. Oh, yeah, I lost you. Okay. Go
Just
up,
like
come back.
the basic principle.
I'm gonna change my settings, see if that helps, but you are definitely cutting out. Polly, are you seeing the issues that I am seeing? Maybe it's just me. Ah, yeah, he's out. So it isn't me, it's it's him. But if you've just tuned in and you're wondering what's going on here in studio, it is Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. I am Dr. Marissa, your host, producer, and today is Thursday, so we are doing the special series called Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and Sam Works, who's having a little bit of technical difficulty. And we've been talking about sharing money in a relationship. It is very, is it a deal breaker or not? And I think that the conclusions we've come to as we are getting to the end of the show here, I'm just trying to see. There you are. Okay, got you back. Um, just trying to see what the answer is. And I think, Sam, on final word, tell me what you think the best formula is for couples and money.
Uh,
Oh,
I would say
okay,
be aware, have self-awareness, know what you want, and have that conversation.
that
Those
was
are my three
nice.
things.
Short.
I can't give you a specific answer because it's all you know, in your own personal experience on how you operate, and with culture and stuff too. You know, like what you're programmed to run things, especially when it comes to money.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we sort of touched on culture, but that is another factor that can influence the answers to those questions. I believe it is personal. I believe that it is important to talk about. Certainly, after 3 months, after that first 3 month of first trimester honeymoon period, um, and I think the reality of why we're even talking about this is one of the straight things we talk about is the fallacy of um, Jerry Maguire, you complete me. The fallacy of Snow White Cinderella, they lived happily ever after. The reality is, if you want to have a happy relationship, it is so important to have these conversations, which may not be sexy, which may not be fun, but certainly are part of what Sam says the most important thing that is in to make a happy relationship is communication. And somewhere along the line, we got a finger, which is not that finger, but a thumbs up. So thank you, whoever did that. I don't see any names in the comments, so I can't thank you personally, but I do appreciate that you are listening and agreeing, especially. I love agreement. But if you are in a relationship right now and it is money is something making you miserable between the two of you, I would suggest having a coach or someone help facilitate that conversation if you can't have it. And I have done many of those, and they're not fun at the beginning, but they're super, super duper rewarding. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live from Las Vegas. I am here for the finance conference with WFG. If you're interested in joining Sam and I for our next financial literacy workshop at the Calabasas estate of John Shin, please do message either one of us. Sam, ready? It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through, inner peace. Now go and have the best day ever. We'll see you tomorrow. Tempting Conversations with